Hello and welcome to the Two Intelligence. It's a match preview. It seems like a while since we've done one with original faces, but we've got Michael back from a long break. We've got Duncan here. We did change it up a little bit for the AC Milan one. Obviously, we brought on someone from Milan just to give us a little bit of an insight. Couldn't really find anyone from Sheffield to do that, so we'll stick with the man from Norfolk and the man from Essex.
Fine by me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just a quick recap on Milan there. How do you think it went?
It was rather good, I thought. All in all, I thought, I think I could see what they wanted to do, which is to avoid what Brighton did, which is lose your opening fixture and go, and have that sort of hanging over, thinking, oh God, is it going to be? So, I mean, it wasn't the best performance by any chance, but still against a decent side. So, yeah, I was happy with that.
Yeah, no, I think the same. I think it was a dog-eat game. It wasn't the best game in the world, was it? But to get, to get a draw and not concede, can't really argue with that, can you?
No, and I think the one thing obviously that we do need to look at is that other than maybe perhaps Bruno and Trippier, is there that many of the squad that's actually got Champions League experience?
I think it was 5, wasn't there? So I think they said there was 5.
Tonali.
So yeah,
can't miss him.
Yeah, 5. But I think Shah was the one that I didn't realise had played the Champions League. So
no.
So yeah, so I think we had 5. So half the team hadn't. So, but yeah, it was decent. It was decent. I mean, I didn't really expect us to get a lot out of it, really. So especially after Milan getting their dicks handed to them, by their rivals. So I knew they'd want to bounce back. So yeah, I was pleased with it. Could do better, but pretty good.
Yeah. Well, there's one person which was very happy with it at the start, mind you. Yeah. Maybe not as the game kicked off, but during the lineups, there was one person that was very happy.
Yeah. Jacob, bless him, living the dream, isn't he?
And then you could just tell, everyone just going, yeah, he's trying hard not to really grin, but it's just no, go on there.
Yeah, I can't believe he got criticised for it. Some people saying, it's not very professional, is it? I mean, no, maybe not. He knew the camera was on him. He was just playing to the camera, in my opinion.
He's a Newcastle United supporter. He's playing at the San Siro with the club that he loves, and you see him in the Champions League music.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to smile, because he's probably sitting there going, I never dreamt that this was going to be possible. Yeah, which it probably, even when he was moving in Newcastle, he probably didn't think this was possible. So the fact that it's happening now,
yeah,
and obviously the fact that you had Dan Burn there, you had Sean Longstaff there on the bench, you had Elliot Anderson, you had Lewis Hall, so 5 lads who support the club, all in, and so if he wants to win, he wants to win it.
Yeah, he can't believe he was there. I can't believe he was there either. So I mean,
I understand the reason why he picked him, because I think Eddie Howe was looking at the fact that they had Theo Hernandez and Rafael Leao on their left side, and I think he thought Jacob Murphy was going to maybe offer that little bit more stability on the right side with Trips compared to what would with Miggy. But hey ho, like I said, it's not. This is a side that got the semi-finals last season. Yeah. To go to the San Siro and get a 0-0 draw, yeah, it isn't a shabby result.
No,
by far.
They were loud as well, weren't they? Their support was amazing. I've said online, it's very rare you don't hear our lot away now.
I could hear them a couple of times.
Oh yeah, a few times, but usually you hear them all the way through. But their support was like, God, it must have been intense being there, because it really.
Well, it might have been because our fans were probably higher than level 7.
Yeah,
in where they were put away.
But they went for it with the flags and the light. It was it must have been a fantastic atmosphere. So
Yeah, but obviously for the 4,200 that went over there, and probably absolutely took over the
Yeah, well, they
Bramall
did,
in
didn't
Milan.
they? Yeah, it was brilliant seeing it all on
Do you
social media.
imagine going for a road down there and being confronted with 4,200
Thinking,
fans just
what's
going, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
what's happening? Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant experience.
It was good. It was a good. It looked like a good atmosphere. I just there's few reports of a little bit of trouble, wasn't there?
Yeah, which it's going to be, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but
Down to
thankfully,
maybe boisterous behaviour and people kind of leaving the main, crowd and going off to get Ubers and things like that.
yeah, but
got into bother
realistically,
on.
there was one fan that did get injured. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's now back in the UK, and I think everything's going to be fine. But the fact that you've had 4,202 fans going over there, and realistically, did you hear any arrests, any trouble, anything like that? No. And it's like it's very rare that when you have that larger number of fans that go away, that you don't see that. So well done, and I'm sure there's probably another 3,000 heading down to Sheffield tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, he got stabbed the day before as well, and there was no reprisals from our lot. That could have kicked things off, but it didn't. So
Yeah.
So
I think it seemed like it was quite late at night. I think he was going back from that canal scene and at like 1 o'clock in the morning and kind of went off the beaten track and got into bother. But I think you've just got to be cautious, haven't you? Really.
Yeah.
And also Milan even outdid Newcastle in their chaos for the Metros because they all went off after the game. Yeah. So Newcastle fans had no way of getting back, So we try and outdo it with a rubbish Metro system, and then Milan go, hang on, you're totally right. We'll show you how it's done.
Yeah.
But so obviously we're going to be heading down to Sheffield. We're going to be going to Bramall Lane. I've got no doubt that Bramall Lane, in terms of an away end, is going to be so much nicer and better than the away end at their rivals at Hillsborough. Doesn't take much, but I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're just going to have a quick look, and obviously looking at this Sheffield United record. They haven't won in the last 4. They lost to Lincoln on penalties in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, a competition we're still in for now.
Yeah.
Now, you look at that and you go, really, 2-1 against Man City, not a shabby result, to be fair. 2-2 against Everton. Would say that was a poor result, but at the minute they're beating Brentford 3-1. So, yeah. And then obviously lost to Spurs 2-1, but I'm sure that game was a bit controversial.
Yeah.
But the question is, firstly, do you think Sheffield United have any dangerous players? Like, is there anyone that we need to be worried about?
I don't think so.
No, I mean, no one that McBurney. He's about the only one I can think of off the top of my head without trying to do lots of research before we came on. He's the only one I could think of. So. But no, I mean, championship.
McBurney was
players,
sent off against Spurs, so McBurney's not going to.
Yeah, so he didn't play
because he supposedly just said to the ref something along the lines of he was holding me shirt.
Yeah, and Egginbottom was really upset about that, wasn't he? Quite rightly as well. So
yeah, because to be fair, I think the referees have got a little bit over the top there, and if any question and they just say, "Well, I'm going to book you."
Wasn't McBurney their captain as well? Wasn't that his argument? He's captain, so therefore he's allowed to speak to the ref. So,
but as someone said, you don't know what the conversation was, how he said that in that sense. But actually, there is one player who I'm thinking of, which might cause a worry. Then he used to play for Coventry.
Okay.
Last season, Gustavo Hamer.
Okay.
He's not a bad player in that he plays in like the midfield, probably in a more forward role. If we're just looking at the last side, they have Jason Bogle, which I'm sure, if I remember, played the last time we played them. Cameron Archer, now that's another one as well, because he came in on loan from Aston Villa. No, I think it's a purchase from Aston Villa, if my memory jogs me.
They've got the lad from Everton, didn't they? That Tom Davis that everyone raved about a couple of seasons ago, and then his career just seemed to
Oh, is he at
She's
Sheffield
out.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think James McT, which I think he came from Man City.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had a couple, didn't they, on loan last year? They didn't manage to hold on to all of them, though, did they? So
no. So all in all, probably not. And I know we shouldn't be saying this, but there's no one that really you're looking at and saying, "Oh, they really stand out." But sometimes that doesn't have to be the same with a team. A team might work better. Yeah, it's probably Newcastle sometimes they can sometimes work better as a team than as individuals.
yes. Yeah, I mean, they haven't been dicked by anybody, have they? I mean, they've played Man City and Spurs. No, one was away, one was at home. But I mean, like you said, Spurs one was quite controversial, wasn't it? So
it seems like they were unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it was, 12 minutes of extra time. I mean, it's going to be tough, isn't it?
It is. Obviously, just moving away from that, because whether or not we get to do a Man City preview or not for the Cup, but the good news is Rodri's out.
Yes, yeah. Not that I think he would have played anyway. I don't think he's going to. But like I said, that's another podcast, isn't it? But yeah.
Now, obviously, we're going to look at over to the Newcastle side. Now, there have been Twitter rumblings about Botman and Hall not travelling with the team today. But yeah, as with Twitter, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. Do you think that they maybe are travelling down separately? Do you think it's an Eddie Howe way of just saying, look, actually, I'm going to rest you? Or will we see them on the pitch tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, do we? I mean, it could be personal reasons that they've not travelled and they'll travel down tomorrow. I mean, it's 2 days, it's another 24 hours away, isn't it? So, and it's Twitter, so it's probably not real. So
yeah, I don't think Botman was injured at all, and Hall hasn't played a bloody game yet, so he can't be. He's got injured in training. He can't leave him out if he's not even played the game yet.
That doesn't stop you. That doesn't stop you.
Yeah, I think you might be on something there, Mike. I think it might be personal family arrangements that's stopping them from travelling.
Yeah,
I can't. Anything really. I think you'd know if they were injured. They're not showing up as on Fantasy Football League as injured or doubtful or anything, and they're pretty accurate. So I think it's probably
one thing which I did see on Twitter was that Harvey Barnes put Botman in his fantasy football team.
Really?
Which could be telling you
I've
something.
had him from the start, but he's a quality, especially now. We've got a decent turn of fixtures now. Instead of playing any one of the top 7 from last season, we're finally playing a team that didn't finish in Europe.
But that, but sometimes that can, because the one thing that we're probably gonna realize tomorrow is are we going to face the European hangover? Because that sometimes happens with teams in Europe. This is a brand new thing for us. Last season we didn't really have that. This season we are, and if you look at it, we'll face AC Milan. Then next Wednesday we've got Man City in the cup. Then the Wednesday, I think Tuesday or Wednesday after that we're facing PS. At home.
It's
really difficult decisions, isn't it? It's a hard life, isn't it?
If you said to someone, pick a team, you got your first Champions League game, it's away. Pick any of the teams in the league, they would probably pick someone like Sheffield United, wouldn't they? Or Burnley, or someone like that. So, but like you said, it's gonna be tough. This is the exciting thing, though. I have no idea who's going to play tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think he'll start Wilson.
Yeah,
just primarily because Isak played nearly the majority of the game in Milan. So I just think, and I think Willock might actually be better suited to like the maybe the physicality that probably the back line of Sheffield United will want to play. You then look and go, I probably think we'll probably see Harvey Barnes on the left. And I think we'll see Miggy on that. Again, I'm just looking at that end. Whether or not we're going to change the midfield, I'm not too sure. But again, you look at that and go, well, would you not be better off going against Anderson and maybe dropping someone like Tonali and keeping Tonali fit for like a Man City game?
Yeah.
Because there is these sort of things that you look at. And obviously Tonali's just come back from injury. So again...
I was going to say, he's not been 100%.
Yeah, but to be fair, he's been getting back to his to be honest, I think he ran himself to the ground. Yeah, in his mat, like what was essentially like the man marking of Loftus Cheek. Yeah, because they were both knackered by the time it came to that. But again, really interesting battle up in those ones. I know Eddie said he doesn't want to do wholesale changes, but okay, I'm seeing that. I think I've done 4 already.
I think he will on Wednesday. I'm not sure he will tomorrow, but I'm interested to know what you both think about this debate that suddenly sprung up that the media started to push about how they don't think Bruno and Tonali can play together, or already doesn't know how they should play together. Well, what do you guys think of that? Because I was a bit perplexed by that. I thought this is just the media trying to make an argument, because I don't get that at all.
Well, they seem to play well together against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
And then the other games, realistically, Man City, Liverpool, Brighton, 3 really good sides. So I wouldn't judge it on that. It's in its infancy, and this is what we need to realise. This is a midfield that it needs to do that. Now, I'm going to say I actually think the midfield has maybe got a little bit stronger with Sean Longstaff in, because I think Sean Longstaff does things that no one else in that midfield does.
Yeah.
But to be honest, that's a great thing. Like, oh, well, Longstaff can come in. Yeah, we've got Joe Litton, who's obviously out injured. Elliot Anderson can come in. Yeah, Joe Willock still to come fit. So, it's not a bad thing, but we just need to give it time. These midfields do take time. They need to learn to play together. They need to learn how each other play. This comes with time.
Yeah,
and it's going to happen. It's not just going to just automatically click. As much as we'd love that, it is going to take time to do that. I think obviously it took time for Miggy and Bruno to learn that link up and Trippier and stuff like that. So these things are going to happen. I think it will come good. Honestly, I just think it's on there. See, Lampard and Gerrard,
Yeah, that was what was getting trotted out, wasn't it? On Talk Sport, and it was to me, it was just a load of nonsense. It was just, Tonali's not even 100% fit yet, so I don't think we've even seen the best of him. And unfortunately for him, he started at such a canter, at such a rate against Aston Villa. It probably didn't do himself a lot of good, because everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's going to be amazing!" And of course, he's
he'll started off it and then dropped. But even as some said, Tonali, he's probably still not up to the fitness levels, because again, and this was the point that was made, I think, with Isak when he was coming back from fitness. Yes, he's fit, so he's fit as in terms of he's injury free, but he's not Eddie Howe fit.
Yeah,
as in there isn't that intensity, because that's what Eddie Howe demands. He demands that intensity from start to finish, and we saw that against Milan, because it was a dogged performance, and everyone's running themselves into the ground in that. But it's just one of those. Sorry,
Mark.
No, go on.
I was going to say that isn't that what I got from the press conference yesterday was about why I've not seen Hall and what's his name, Tino. I can't remember. I'd say his name, Livramento, because they're not fully fit, because, like you said, they're not fit enough to play to that intensity yet. Because everyone's like going, why did we bother buying them if we're not going to show? Well, obviously they're not up to speed yet. Simple as that.
Yeah, but we're buying them for. But to be bulk up the squad, but also the quality aspect of it. So they are going to come good. They're young players, and this is what we need to remember. There was Hall, I think it's 20, isn't it? So in that sense, and I think Tino's young as well. So you're looking at that and going, we potentially got 2 fullbacks, which could be England international fullbacks in years to come.
Yeah,
and we've snapped them up in there. So look, again, and then obviously the news comes out today about Bruno's new contract, and supposedly there's in excess of 100 million in that, and people are like, "I'm going right, but you don't know what the conditions of that are." And as someone pointed out, if it's 100 million cash, that potentially opens us up to a 300 million, 400 million window in one season, because of the amortization aspect of it.
Yeah.
So straight away, it's a massive boost in that. Now, like I said, there could be so many conditions in that. I don't think it's as easy. I also have a little thinking that this has been leaked from the agent side.
Yeah.
Oh, Bruno's got 100 million.
Yeah, he's staying, but
if
you want to come in,
exactly. yeah, and I'm going to be, but yeah, up until maybe the last couple of games where he stepped up a little bit, Bruno hasn't necessarily had the best start of the season.
No.
Would anyone want to pay 100 million from on those performances?
Not now.
No, the fact is, as long as Bruno's happy, as long as he's getting the game time, as long as we're in European competitions, and as long as he's loved and wanted at Newcastle, yeah, it probably is a one where he'll do that. But I can also understand him as a player that if we're not maybe progressing as quickly as he wants, then yeah, he might want to go off. And it's one of those things we might have to sacrifice him to be able to then get ourselves in a better financial position.
I think Man City have been doing that for years. They will every year they will historically get rid of 2 or 3 almost first team players and replace them. You know, Gundogan and players like that, they get rid of them. So if he's been with us 3 years and someone's offers 100 million, then you move him on and you get a new Bruno and start again.
If he plays anywhere, sorry, Duncan.
Go on.
No, if he plays anywhere like we know he can, that's going to happen. He's going to move on. It's as simple as that. You know, we all love these players. We all love, especially Bruno. It will happen. If he carries on the way he's been, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Simple as that.
You need to do that to be a club that competes. Like, you look what Liverpool have done for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They've stuck with those same players, and look at them now. And you look at the flip side of that coin, you look at Man City, like I was saying earlier, they do shift on first team players every year and replace them, Aguero, Haaland, you know, and they get the new guy in. Liverpool didn't do that.
Jesus, Julio Alvarez.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, I would rather operate that way. Maximum value for a player exiting and get the new Bruno Guimaraes in if we're in that position.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to be there for 10 years. He's just not. He's not going to be good enough to be there for 10 years.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? I mean,
yeah.
I said, but what's to say that release clause doesn't kick in until so many years' time? Do you know, like in year 4 or 5? Do you know what I mean? We don't know these things. It could just be all those things and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that. Yeah, but you do look at it and you look at the fact that we have been limited, but we are trying to do our best. The fact that we've been able to bring someone like a Tonali and that we bought someone like Anthony Gordon, which I know didn't start off being everyone's favourite, but he's soon warmed to that, and you can see like in the way that he's performing and that. The fact, Harvey Barnes again. I don't think we've seen any of the best of him, but again, he's probably getting himself built into like how the team plays, what it's to, and it does take time. So are we being spoiled because of the performance that we had last season? Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly it. And I think a lot of the players did hit the game run, and it was a shock and surprise for everyone. But people now expect us.
Yeah.
People now know what we can do, and that level of surprise as well.
Yeah.
So we do need to adapt sometimes. And
do
you know what? It's too early in the season. Yeah. Do I expect us to be in the top 4 this season? Probably not.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I just can't. Yeah, I'm going to be realistic. Yeah, did I expect us to be in the top 4 last season? No.
Yeah.
I said, look, anywhere towards the top mid-table, I would be happy with. And again, that's where we should be realistically aiming for now. Look, I've said, look, I would rather us actually finish 3rd in the Champions League, drop down to the Europa League, and doing that.
Yeah.
But then again, So what
if we
get out of the group stages? Then there's that boost in there to go. Well, actually, do you know what? Against Dortmund, PSG, and Borussia and AC Milan, we actually got out of that group. So there's that mental aspect of that as well. And I'll still say, when we look at it again, Man City, Eddie Howe will be looking at a side that will go and beat Man City because he'll want to go on another cup run. He'd love to take us back to Wembley. And do you know what? If we can kick one of the favourites out at the very beginning, let's do that.
Yeah, I mean the final. You know, we faced the team that knocked Man City out last season, didn't we, in Southampton? So it happens. So, but that's what he's got to do. You know, we all want a final now, and the club will be wanting to do that again just for all the prestige and the revenue. So yeah, it's pressure all the way for him. Bless him.
I think the expectation on Newcastle as a club now to do well because we finished Champions League can be easily kind of distorted from the fact of it's light and day to what this was 24 months ago. You know, you feel like you're getting value for money out of the club now. You feel like you want to go to the games. You want, the Champions League games, the away game. Like, if we don't finish top 4 or if we get knocked out by Man City, it's not going to be the same feeling as getting knocked out the League Cup in the first go as it felt 2 years ago, because the club's in a much more progressive, invested state. So if we don't win anything and we finish 7th, I don't think you'll find one unhappy Newcastle fan.
I'm sure there'll be one.
Yeah, I'm going
to
to
say one. Yeah, there always is.
Have you not seen social media? There's people now complaining of the fact that the club now need to release how many tickets are actually available on match days for the members. They need to release how many members they are.
Social media.
Don't even get me started on
tickets. You know what? The one thing is, were you fans demanding how many tickets were going on sale when Mike Ashley was the owner? No.
Yeah.
Were you demanding how many memberships were sold when Mike Ashley was the owner?
If I see one more person taking a seat picture at half time when no one's in the seats, putting it on Twitter, going, "Look at this, disgusting."
No, I will say in maybe defence of some of those, if there are people who are buying tickets for, let's say, the Brighton game with the no intention of going because it went down to a point and they'll go, "Oh, do you know what? Well, I'll get the point ticket." Yeah, then don't. Yeah, because there are fans that do want to go.
Then be the rules now. Then be the rules. That's the territory that we're in now.
Well, like Duncan said,
suck it up.
How did they know they weren't stuck in traffic? Or one of them got ill, the driver. No. I mean, it's just ridiculous saying, look at these empty seats. You've no idea why they're empty. They could be empty for a legit reason for all you know. They could be slung out for all you know.
Yeah, the only way you counteract that is do what airlines do, is double sell your ticket, but then you'll moan about, oh, I turned up and there was someone in my seat because I was 5 minutes before kickoff. It's like, well, what do you want?
X or whatever call is ridiculous.
400
days for
empty seats.
But also... Well, the other thing which I will counteract that is because of the fact that there is now the checks on the ID, which I actually think is fair enough because it does stop those that will always just sell on in that.
Yeah.
That's another reason why seats are probably empty, because there's still people flouting the rules, passing on tickets and not having the correct ID, so they're rejected.
That might be a few, but I also think it might be those that maybe have got a ticket and then for some circumstance haven't been able to. Like train strikes or whatever like that, and they're too frightened to pass it on to someone else because they're thinking, well, hang on, if this gets checked, I might get me. I might get.
There was one picture. They took a picture of the new wings seats. It's like, oh, surprise, surprise! People in hospitality are not in their seat as the game kicks off.
Yeah.
Like,
have they ever watched a game at Wembley where you see where the seats are behind the dugouts?
Well,
they are never full.
Can I say,
I can
understand that with them because it's £300 a ticket. You'll want to get as much of that hospitality as you can at £300.
Yeah, when I used to go to Arsenal hospitality, I used to watch the second half inside, drinking and eating cakes and watching it on the telly. I never even went out.
Yeah. I mean, it's been silly, really, the reaction to some things.
It is like people.
I think it's fair now. It's very, very fair.
It is, but
I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? So
nothing was ever going to be completely fair to everyone, and that's the unfortunate aspect of it. It's just the frustrating thing. Now, obviously, it might mean that obviously Michael doesn't get as many chances to come up here this season because of the way things are. It is frustrating. But the only way that's going to get solved is by making the ground bigger.
But then again, I've got a dilemma now where I don't know about Dung, but I mean, obviously, so we play Saturday against Burnley, and then we play against PSG 4 days later. So that means going back, coming down. So personally, for me, we're actually getting extra games, not many, but do you know what I mean? So my options are a bit more. I have to be a bit more because I can't afford to do them all.
No,
Do you see what I'm
no,
saying? So I'm kind of
I'm
like,
with you on that, yeah.
and also I've been very lucky with them. Every time I put in for a ticket, I've got one. So
obviously I've got a season ticket, but I've used to get the train up. I used to stay in a hotel, but with the Champions League, with now the rule that you can only pass on 10 tickets before you get looked at. You know, I was fortunate enough to become a car owner through varying reasons, and I've got a friend now that has said I can stay at theirs, so I don't have to pay for a hotel.
yeah.
So it enables me now to drive up. It does cost 120 quid in fuel, but the train was like 140.
Yeah.
The hotel was 120. The night out was 100 quid. So a home game be in excess of 400.
That was just the cleaner bill in the taxi, mind you. That was your drinks bill.
So now,
But I mean,
I can drive up for the Burnley game Saturday, stay at my friend's, drive home Sunday,
yeah,
and then drive up Wednesday, stay at my friend's, drive home Thursday, and all I'm paying for is the fuel.
I mean, the choice is ours, isn't it? We don't live up there, so people are going to be, you know, no doubt we're plastic fans, on some people anyway. But I mean, it is what it is, and you know, it was annoying when they did it like that. I liked it the old way where I could pick where I wanted to sit, and you know, but it is what it is now, and I've got to suck it up and just.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with me in the season ticket is, like I said, I've had this conversation with Mark in that, you know, it means I'll go up to more games, but before, when it was a physical season ticket, if I didn't want to come up for 3 months, that was fine. And Mark used to pass it around to our friends, and someone else would go. Whereas now, unfortunately,
at no cost, by the way, just in case anyone at the club's watching, no cost.
I would never charge. I would gift it away.
Yeah.
Now I'll gift some ticket, maybe a handful, but the rest of the time the seat will be empty. If can't make it. I don't want to pass it on and have my ticket flagged as a whatever. So the seat will just be empty and no one will go. You know,
I will say the other good thing about the season tickets now is that we have the option. So let's say if we don't have anyone that we can pass it to for that for a particular game, we can sell it back to the club.
Yeah, I can sell it back to the club,
and then the club will then sell it on, and then that money will then get
But where my seat is, it's right in between. Friend of mine called Ian and Mark. So, you know, you've got to ask the question, if you're not going to allow me to pass it on, but you allow me to sell it, do my friends want a complete stranger sat in between them on a handful of games? No, they don't. They'd rather have someone that we all know sat there, but you kind of, you know.
The most worrying thing for me was when we went to the Liverpool game, I was talking to the lady sat next to me, and she said when we played Villa, there was 2 Villa fans who sat where we were sat.
Right.
We were like, how is that even what? That's not even possible, is it? So, but that's what she said. So,
well, the fact is, either they'll have had to have bought a membership to do that, or they'll have had to have known someone who's a season ticket holder, and the season ticket holder took a bloody big risk in allowing them to go.
I didn't argue with her. I was like, "All right, really," and just thought, well, that sounds like you said. That sounds risky to me. Whoever did that for them. So,
it is, and I'm sure that, you are going to get that from time to time, like if you know a mate who's if they want to watch the game and you can't, it's going to happen. Never going to happen to me because there's no way I'm going to let an opposition fan sit anywhere near me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also, but why would you even broadcast that?
Yeah,
I know, but it's just those things. The one thing which I will say, which I do think actually has really improved it, is the safe standing section. Because that is constantly noisy.
Yeah.
So no, that's the one thing which I do think is an improvement. And obviously the one thing that we need to look at is after our travellers away to Sheffield tomorrow, we're at home for the next 3 games.
Yeah.
And I'll be there.
Yeah.
Will I be there? Maybe I will. Oh no, maybe I won't.
You'll be there for Burnley. You'll be there for PSG. You're not there for the Man City game.
Am I not?
That's
midweek. Or are you asking me?
No, I'm telling you because I know.
Oh yeah, I'm not there for the league game. Sorry, I thought you meant Premier League. Then I got confused.
No, the cup game.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm definitely not there for Man City.
2 cup games, and it's brilliant though, isn't it? Talking about it like that, Man City, Burnley, and all right, Burnley.
But that's the thing.
And PSG is just like brilliant. Oh, fantastic.
Well, this is the thing. You're looking at it now, and I've went, right, 20 quid. which I was thinking was a bit steep for Carabao Cup. Could you 20 quid? Yeah, you might get a crap opposition when you're going 20 quid for a cup ticket against Manchester City. You know, doesn't sound as bad in that sense. To be fair, even 55 quid now, when you're looking at the fact that the opposition's PSG, Milan, and Dortmund, and that you're going, actually, yeah, that's probably
Forward to that PSG game. I'm really looking forward to that.
I can't wait. I'm just like, I got goosebumps listening to the Champions League music on the TV when we're there.
I'm staying in the city centre for that one.
I'm staying in the city centre
for that.
It's going to be awesome.
Big night out for that.
I said, look, I want Salah to have like a drone show, like the Champions League via drones just hovering above the stadium and stuff like that. I'm like,
that'd be really cool.
Just make it special.
They're all going to be special, aren't they? Those 3 games at home, similar as that. So.
Yeah, and do you know what? Yeah. And this is because look, PSG are a good side, but I think all 3 of those teams are not going to really, they're not going to look forward to coming to St James's Park because they're all nighttime games, and fine well, nighttime games are cracking.
And when you think about, go on, sorry.
I was saying that's why I'm like, obviously, you look at the Man City game. Obviously, Wolf lads have come out and they've went. It's bring your scarf time again.
Yeah.
Which is good because it's just getting into the colder weather. Yeah, so they've timed it just right for getting your scarves back out again. But it is like that. It's like nighttime games at St James's Park. There's just something that a little bit different. And which you love in that. And you're just thinking, right, so Man City under the lights one Wednesday. The next week we're going to be having, PSG, and it's just like. And the
3 o'clock Saturday kickoff as well. Can't remember the last bloody time that happened.
I know. I take it to rarity, isn't it? It's really what's happened.
Yeah, it's either Sunday or 5:30, isn't it? So
I know. So we'll savour that 3 o'clock as we can there. But no, it's just going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that Burnley's spoiling it. It's like,
I can't wait for the Burnley game.
PSG, Burnley.
Hopefully I'm going to. I'll be up in the old director's box for the Burnley game.
Really, in the director's box?
I've got a friend of mine is the owner of Burnley, so
okay.
This week, Mike Garlick. So so shout out to Mike Garlick.
Is he one of the Americans that own it?
No, he's the original owner. So he's not. He's not the majority owner. He sold to the Americans, but he's still on the board. So he still goes to the games and in the boardroom and things like that. But I know him through work, basically. But
cool.
Really
I've just seen the funniest tweet. Sven Botman accidentally took his girlfriend's keys to training and he had to drop them off home before heading to Sheffield.
Well, there you go.
It's funny.
I believe that as much as I believe anything else. So why not?
But it's sort of like that one going, "Oh, that'd be so hilarious if that did happen."
Yeah.
But again, it might be an Eddie Howe ploy, to get into Sheffield United's head. You two are travelling down separately, just to.
Yeah,
that was
it wouldn't put it past us with Eddie Howe because he always likes to, his mind games and that.
That was funny yesterday as well. I saw a few weird tweets or whatever they're called nowadays, posts about Eddie. He didn't look very happy, did he? In his press conference, and I was like,
"Poor bugger's knackered."
Why? What? Well, I didn't notice any difference. I thought, why? Because he didn't come in singing in the rain.
Yeah, because he's with
a top hat.
He's knackered. He'll have done.
What are people on about? Seriously,
post-match press conference on the Saturday night. He'll have then done.
But he didn't seem any different
on the Tuesday night. He's then.
I think.
On the Monday night.
He didn't seem any different to me. I thought I didn't see that. What the hell are you? I don't know what you're on, but I would stop taking it immediately. I'd check you, make sure your cooker's not leaking gas or something. Because I just weird. We live in a weird time.
The fact is,
I think managers get pissed off with press, and then they just say, "Oh, they didn't look happy," but they're just not happy with the press, basically.
No, this was some of our own supporters or alleged supporters saying,
I agree with what Duncan's saying. Is like he might being fed up with some of the questions that were being asked and stuff like that, and. Because the press seem to want to keep on wanting to drag out like, "Oh, is there a problem with Tonali? Is there a problem with this? Is there a problem with that?" And it's like, no, there's not. Yeah, there's going to be more scrutiny because of what we did last season. That's just a fact. But you know what?
Weird.
So what? Yeah, it's still early in the season. We've still got a lot to learn. That players need to integrate and get together. Yeah, just. Give them time and that.
Yeah.
Although there was one thing, we play more on the right side of the defence.
He seems to swap with Bruno quite a lot. I thought against Milan, they seemed to fill in
No,
for each other.
Tomori.
Or Tomori. Sorry, I thought
Yeah.
Tonali. I suppose he will do if to give Trips a rest, but he was amazing on Tuesday, wasn't he? Absolutely amazing.
Solid. Yeah,
Just
solid as.
I mean, talk about having someone like that to look at. So, but yeah, I would have thought so.
Well, like I said, I've got a feeling Trips will play just because Trips will always want to play. He's a professional.
He'll want to play every game.
If you don't play these coming up games, it'll be the Man City one. I think we'll take it about seriously. I'm assuming that Man City won't take it seriously, and I think we might gamble that they won't. And I think you'll see a lot more changes. I think you'll see Miley.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Mike. I don't think Man City will go hell for leather because they'll want to win the Champions League again. They'll want to do the triple, and I think if they have to sacrifice anything, it's going to be the League Cup.
Yeah.
So although their reserve bench is probably better than ours,
but the fact is, he might still rotate, but then he'll, if things aren't going right, he will go right Haaland off the bench.
Yeah.
The bench. He does have that benefit. But
the squad is ridiculous, but
we can as well.
Yeah, but as for tomorrow, I'm assuming it'll be pretty samey.
I think you might see the likes of Hall coming. I think there'll be a few switch ups, but
I don't know whether it'll change it at the back. But I just think I think Barnes will probably play instead of Gordon just to give Gordon a rest and to maybe remove that risk of him potentially picking up that 5th yellow card.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can pick it
Miggy,
up
probably. Miggy maybe instead of.
Yeah.
You might see Miggy start. I think you'll probably see Callum Wilson start. Just
I'd really like to see Hall start instead of Dan Burn. I love big Dan Burn, but I think we.
Do you know what? And I'm going to say. The one thing which I'm going to defend him on that a little bit. Yeah, he looked a bit shaky at the start of the AC Milan game, but he did get into it. Yeah, as the game went on, and seemed to get a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, so do you know what? Well done to all of them. And again, for me, Nick Pope was back to his best in that.
Yeah,
absolutely. That was like the Nick Pope of old that we had before we started making mistakes and that, and hopefully that'll give him that little bit of a boost. But you know what? I don't think anyone knows what Eddie Howe's going to do. The only thing that I'm probably certain is I think Callum Wilson will start.
Yeah. And Longstaff, definitely Longstaff.
Oh, of course, Sean Longstaff will stay. Yeah, but yeah, and that for me, I've got to be nice to Sean Longstaff because I work with a family member.
Yeah, well, he did amazing. Another one who was brilliant on Tuesday. Nearly did it at the end as well. Nearly did it.
Mm-hmm. I know.
God, that would have been just so like, oh my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Life can't be that good, I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? Yeah. It was a good game. We'll move on.
Oh dear.
I'm now as tired as Eddie. But what we'll do is we'll leave it there. We'll see. Good night. We'll go fingers crossed. We'll not do predictions just because. Well, actually, yeah, what we'll do because I'm not yours. We need to roll yours out, Michael.
I'm going to go 2-1 to us.
Oh, see, yeah.
They
like disappointed this. I thought your 2-2 was going to come.
No, I don't need to drag that one out anymore. Now I don't think. So.
I'm going to go a solid 3-0 away win.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think a good.
I'm going to put you on the spot then for that. If you're going to go 3-0, who's your goal scorer?
I think Wilson. I'd say a Wilson double and then maybe a Barnes or Gordon, depends on how the game unfolds. But yeah, a goal from the left or right and then 2 from Wilson, maybe a pen, maybe a header, and then a Barnes cutting in and whacking it in the top corner. 3-0. And a good clean sheet from Newcastle defence and Pope. Good for the fantasy football.
We'll take that. So again, we'll wrap up. We'll say good night, and
cool.
We may see you for the cup game. We may not because it's quite a tight turnaround.
Yeah.
But yeah, if not, we'll see you for one before the Burnley game. I'm sure we'll try and squeeze a one in for the PSG game. So just say good night and thank you.
Cool.